Well, first of all, I'm always in a class, so every week there's a nature activity that goes with the chapter that we're studying. So that guarantees me one meaningful nature activity per week, which is it's like an ongoing flow of learning and healing and new insight, and there's sort of a thread of my personal development that runs through that. Having that, always that regularity, but on a day-to-day basis, the longer I am in the program, the more I want to be outside, and the more I want to include what's happening that day outside in my in my experience of that day. I guess I'll put it that way. So when I get up in the morning, I will often take my cup of coffee outside and just sit and drink my coffee on my either my front steps or my back steps, and kind of come out and greet the yard, greet the birds, and just like coming out into the neighborhood and being with my fellows there, and then when I take a break from my work, often I will go down to the state park, whether it's for a short walk or a long walk. I just feel more and more of a need to be outside, and it makes me feel good. I feel better when it de-stresses me, and I have attachments to individuals out there in nature because I've had these really meaningful or insightful experiences with trees, with the ground, with the stream, and so a great affection develops a relationship. Really, I mean that's been a huge discovery, is that you don't have to be another human being. You don't have to. You don't even have to be a sentient being like a dog to have a relationship with a living thing. It feels good just to be. I mean, I have specific trees who I really, really love, and who have been very sheltering and comforting to me in hard times. And so I love to go and hang out with them and see them. And the plants in my vegetable garden, I want to see what's happening in my garden that day, and how things are growing, and whether anything's blooming. And so so these are a few examples. And then also with my food, this is another thing that's happened since I've gotten more into the advanced phase of the courses. I'm starting to really want to take things to the next level in terms of developing a relationship with my food, and I have an urge to grow food and eat food that I've grown, and so my garden has expanded year by year, and that's just a joy. It feels really good to plant a seed and to nurture that seed all the way through to fruition and eat it. Feels really good. I didn't realize that, how fulfilling it makes me feel whole and good, like everything's right. These are simple things that I think we just, well, convenience and modern culture, sort of the workaday world has taken us away from this very simple daily cycle the survival activities of life, and I'm rediscovering these things. Eating is one of them, and that's been just a great joy. And I'm also really exploring my a more consensual relationship with the plants in my yard. Not automatically whacking something down because I think it's going to be prettier that way, but stopping myself and saying, wait a minute, who am I just to assume that anyone can be whacked down? I realize I'm saying anyone instead of anything. Because now that I'm having experiences with things like trees, I understand that like this tree here is an individual. It doesn't have personhood the way sentient beings, or I mean, people have, there's a whole range of opinion about what defines personhood and what qualifies someone for personhood. But for me now, a living being, a simple living being, a very basic plant, is an individual. It has a life, it has interests, it's trying to stay alive, and so I feel inclined to be more respectful, and especially to stop and, wherever I am automatically killing large numbers of things, ripping things out of the ground, I'm now exploring whether I have to do that or not, and if I do have to do that, doing that in a very considerate way. And it makes me more respectful in general. It makes me more respectful with other people to have that practice with plants. It makes me notice where I may have tended to disregard the feelings of certain other people, and how I may inadvertently create hierarchies of worth and entitlement to freedoms among people, like kids. And so that's some of the ways that I bring nature into my daily life, and I think it kind of gives a taste of how rich and really profound the practice of doing that is. It spreads into every area of my life, and it really enables me to explore what my values are, and to really practice those values.